In a quiet college town nestled between rolling hills, Sarah had just moved into a new apartment with her best friend, Emily. The apartment was old but cozy, with wooden floors that creaked underfoot and large, drafty windows that let in the cool autumn air. Both girls were excited to start their new semester, imagining late-night study sessions and endless laughter filling their home. For the first few weeks, everything was perfect. The apartment quickly became their sanctuary from the stress of college life. They would cook dinner together, watch movies, and chat about their days late into the night. Emily had always been the more outgoing one, often dragging Sarah to parties and introducing her to new people. But as the semester progressed, Emily began acting strangely. She became more reclusive, staying in her room longer than usual and avoiding social gatherings. When Sarah asked if everything was okay, Emily would smile weakly and say she was just tired from all the schoolwork. One particularly cold night, Sarah came home late from the library after cramming for an exam. The apartment was unusually quiet. When she passed Emily's room, she noticed the door was slightly ajar. A quick glance inside showed that the bed was perfectly made, untouched. Sarah assumed Emily had gone out and would be back soon, so she didn't think much of it. The next morning, Sarah woke up early and found that Emily still wasn't home. She sent her a few texts, but there was no response. By evening, when Emily still hadn't shown up, a sense of unease began to creep over Sarah. She called a few mutual friends, but no one had seen or heard from Emily in the past 24 hours. Emily's phone was going straight to voicemail, and her social media accounts were inactive. Her disappearance didn't make sense. Emily was always reliable and would never just vanish without telling anyone. Days passed, and Sarah's worry grew into dread. She contacted the police, who started a missing persons investigation. They asked Sarah all the usual questions. Had Emily been depressed? Was she seeing anyone? Had there been any signs of her wanting to leave? But nothing seemed out of place. The police searched the apartment and surrounding area, but found no trace of Emily. There was no sign of forced entry, no evidence of foul play. As the days stretched on, the apartment began to feel suffocating. Sarah couldn't sleep well, the silence pressing down on her like a weight. She started noticing strange things happening at night. The sound of soft footsteps echoing through the halls, faint creaks coming from the floors as if someone was moving around in the apartment. Sometimes, she would wake up in the middle of the night with the distinct feeling that she wasn't alone, but whenever she checked, no one was there. She dismissed these occurrences as the product of her anxiety over Emily's disappearance. But the noises became more frequent. Sometimes it was the sound of doors softly closing or the quiet rustling of something moving in Emily's room. One night, Sarah was jolted awake by a sharp thump coming from the closet in Emily's room. Her heart raced as she listened closely. There was again a faint rustling sound like someone shifting around. Unable to ignore it any longer, Sarah got out of bed and, with her heart pounding in her chest, made her way down the dark hallway to Emily's room. The door creaked as she pushed it open. The room was cold, and the air felt heavy with an oppressive stillness. She hesitated for a moment before her eyes landed on the closet, which was slightly ajar. A sense of dread washed over her, but she couldn't leave without knowing what was inside. With trembling hands, Sarah opened the closet fully. At first, it seemed normal. Emily's clothes hung neatly on their hangers.